Most people are waiting for the guaranteed outcome, but strategy doesn't work that way. The lottery isn't a strategy. Should is a trap, and the system you're inside of, it wants something, and it might not be what you want. Godin's chapters 82 through 120, 80 through 120 actually this week, are about choosing deliberately your customers, your competition, your judges. Welcome back to the Leadership Lounge Book Club. I'm Alan Edwards, joined today by Chris Duncan and Shannon McCoy. Good to have everyone here.
Thank you, Alan.
All right, a quick word from our sponsors. From MSP Hire. If you're an MSP, you know who you are, and you want to stop sifting through resumes and start building your team, MSP Hire is here for you. Get the right hire the first time. MSPHire.com. Thanks, MSP Hire. Glad to have you on board as a sponsor. And the Leadership Lounge is also sponsored by Sedaris Agency. Sedaris helps business owners who feel stuck get unstuck, whether that's scaling the business up, getting back to dinners with the family, or ideally both. Thank you, Sedaris Agency. And lastly, if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, join us live next week. Head to sedaris.com/book club to grab your meeting link and weekly reminders. That's CDAERIS.com/book club.
Thank you, Alan, for that. And whoever's running the tickers, I appreciate their hard work. A couple of ground rules for the book club. If you're new to the book club, there are a few rules that we ask everybody to comply with. Rule 1, and the first rule and the only rule of the book club, is that we always talk about the book club. If you have questions about that, you are welcome to email I don't understand the rules at sedaris.com.
Now we have to actually create that, Chris.
Someone's going to have to answer those emails. This week, as Alan said, we're going to cover chapters 81 through 120 of This is Strategy by Seth Godin. The assignment from last week, and throughout this book, since this is a long chaptered book, but not a long, each chapter is extremely short, sometimes only a few sentences long. Our assignment was to find our favorite chapters out of those 40, and are also our most unliked, or maybe the ones that didn't resonate with us well, and come prepared to talk about them. So Alan, I know that you took, because you always do, you take exquisite notes on these chapters, and that you had some plane flights that let you catch up a lot. So I'm looking forward to which ones were your favorite chapters this week.
All right, I actually have a handful, but you asked for my favorite. So I'll start with, I think I highlighted chapter 83. And this is a lot about my upbringing and how I feel and how I was raised. The title of the chapter is Should Might Be a Trap. And just to summarize what I got out of this is, when you hear the word should in this context in your business and strategy, what I'm actually feeling, and what the chapter also calls out, is it's guilt and conformity. I was raised in the Bible Belt. I was raised on, guilt-based behavior. And it was so refreshing to hear that reframed back to me, that when I think I should be doing it this way, I really need to stop and ask why. Because other people expect me to, because I think I'm supposed to. What does the strategy actually call for? And that's why it was my favorite chapter.
Yeah, I could see that about this one. Actually, I think you've caught us saying, and I think it's probably with the Yoda voice, that should is not, it's not should, it's can, and all of the things that go along with that. So I can see how this one resonated with you. Yeah. One more, as I do my max headroom maneuver, what is another good one that you pulled out of this?
I have like you said, I have a lot of notes. I don't know if they're exquisite. They're just a lot of them, because there's a lot of chapters. Yeah. But one of the other ones, and it was the chapter right before, I liked it because I needed to hear it.
This is 82?
Yeah, this is chapter 82, Strategy and Aimlessness. Chris, you kind of know me well. But what I took out of this is our life doesn't have to be all strategy. I definitely get caught up in doing this, strategizing for our own business. I have 4 businesses, strategizing for my client's business. And then I get home and it's really hard to turn it off. And frankly, I could probably be annoying at parties.
As the host that just wants to talk about work.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
I want to tag into some of those thoughts, though, that for Alan, like he pointed on chapter 83, which wasn't my favorite chapter, but what I wanted to do is just speak to this thought that you were talking about should. And I think this is what we're hearing throughout this book as far as status quo. Like, what is status quo? Is that what we should do? Is that and then the analogy was used about musicians, artists, how they feel this way a lot of times is to get to be successful. I should do it like the last person. I should, cross every T and dot every I like this last musician because I want to sound like him. However, the trap of that is that some of the most successful artists have done it their way, their own sound, and that's how they separate themselves from the rest.
Yeah, like chapter 94 is David Bowie became David Bowie because he did exactly that. He didn't do what you should do. He did what he wanted to do, and it worked. It worked well for him.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Shannon, what was your top chapter of the week?
I would say that it's number 84, which is I think the reason why I say that is because there's some affirmations in there for me. It's almost like it's this one was, where is the blueprint? And the blueprint is basically the pattern. It's the guide. And since all of us have this in our life, and the reason why I say it's affirming is because I think that may be my strong suit versus execution is strategizing to almost, to a fault because of being a perfectionist and strategizing, right? I want this perfect strategy before I execute, before I do anything. I wanted all the stars to line up and show me where they're lining up and then launch, right? So, but this is talking about in our lives, we all are creating a strategy for our own lives, our own blueprint, I should say. So do we have a solid, a solid and a sound blueprint for our lives and for business? And so I could see where, like Alan was saying, this could be, he's feeling like he's doing this in all areas of life as well because of being very strategic in thinking. So there's definitely a place for it, and then there's execution. But I think what this blueprint is constantly asking: do we have one? Is it solid, sound? Is it proper for our vision?
I can see why that one would appeal to you. Mm-hmm. Did you, from that, do any reflecting of your blueprints? Was that reflection chapter?
Yeah, for sure. Is that the other side of me is thinking, okay, a blueprint for yourself, keeping it in your mind. I mean, when you're working solo, that's something that you may do, fill in all the details in your mind, and just lay out your framework. But when you're working with a team, you've got to, if you want their support, you have to fill in those details so they could be inspired by them, check you to see if your alignment with what you said you were going to be in alignment with your vision, your passion, but also does it support the overall agenda of the company, the overall vision. So I can see where that's where the rubber meets the road as far as a very practical daily application of chapter 84. Yeah,
I can see that. My favorite, let's just say the one that made me think, because I'm not sure that I have any favorites. The one that made me think the most was chapter 93, which was, when did Netflix become Netflix? Netflix began as a DVD rental company. This one resonates with me. And I'll just tell you the spoiler alert here. Netflix defeats Blockbuster, basically, right? So Blockbuster's on its way out. There's still one in Oregon, by the way. You can the last Blockbuster still exists. You can go get your card. So Netflix defeats Blockbuster and realizes that the future is streaming. And they realize they need to pivot to streaming. And the extreme move that they, according to this book anyway, the extreme move was that they stopped inviting the DVD leadership team to their meetings, to the meetings.
Wow.
So basically excluding the 99% profit margin group, or 99% of the revenue from Netflix was coming from DVD rentals. And they said, we've got to pivot. We don't want to hear anything that the DVD people have to say. We're not even going to invite them to the leadership meetings. We're just going to focus on the future and let the DVD stuff, dwindle away in the corner. I don't know that I could do that. Seems so harsh. It's like, well,
I wrote cold and calculated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's a better way of putting it. But imagine being in that organization to say, dear owners, you're literally not inviting us to the game, even though we make up 99% of your revenue.
I did want to discuss that because, like you, Chris, I would be very tempted. I'm a pretty good consensus builder, but consensus is no way to run a great company, right? You're going to get mediocrity every time with consensus. So how does that feel in the boardroom? Like, if you're the top DVD executive, like, what are you thinking? Are you job hunting? Are you doing a cash cow while it exists? What's happening there?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's definitely a mental game. The other thing that I thought of when I was reading this was this is great story, bro. How many other people did this and failed, right?
Yes.
So this is only a story because Netflix succeeded and became a behemoth, right?
Right.
How many others tried this strategy and it fell flat on their face because they decided to pivot to an opportunity that was not an opportunity that they could succeed at? So is this a story of circumstance, or is this a story of a brave leadership move?
I think it's both, and I might have difficulty quoting chapters that actually cover this.
Come on, you can do it. I have faith in you.
But one, I summarized, and I'll find it here. I know I highlighted it, which is basically the chapter summarizes in the niches are in the riches, or if you're in Canada, the niches are in the riches. Sorry, I said it backwards again. Riches are in the niches.
The snitches get stitches. What did you say?
No, the riches are in the niches. So the more you're focused, the more likely you are to be successful. And so I think that was part of the cold calculation. Yes, they had to bet on which way it went, but they bet hard. I also have my own personal quote, which is you can't fail until you quit.
Yeah.
So they made this bold move, and I would bet with a great leadership team, they might look at the data, see where it's going, and go, oh, the data's not there, and pivot. But the fact that they're the type of team who is willing to have this vision, have this strategy, and go all in on it, I think that's saying something, and that team would probably be successful no matter what they did.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it did have some powerhouses in there to help with this. And obviously money fixes a lot of things. But I don't know that I would be this brave. This is strategy to an nth degree, to say we are so confident in our strategy that we're not even inviting people to a meeting that we know should be there. I don't know.
I think you have to recognize that there is a certain point where companies have gambled and won, and some have gambled hard like this and lost.
I want to see those chapters. I want to read fails. This is right for the Scorched and Wiser group.
I gambled it all, lost it all.
I did it all, and I chose to not invite Anyway.
A corollary, and I might have missed this conversation last week, and those things I wanted to say from last time, but I'll use chapter 118 as an example. What does it want? And it is a system. So what I found interesting here is very few of these success stories we hear, a few of them, but very few, create a new system, right? What they're doing is they're leveraging an existing system. When I say system, like it says in chapter 1, I think, like gravity is a freaking system, right? We're not talking about oh, the internet works like this. We're talking, no, these people have wants, desires, needs, dopamine addiction, serotonin, all these things. And when we tap into what's already there, we're going to be more successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Netflix had did, bringing it back to Netflix, is they saw how more and more people were going on the internet more and more often. How honestly, what their DVD business did was they said, okay, people don't actually want to get in their cars.
Yeah.
Now they can do it by mail. Oh, wait, we can speed up that cycle. So really, it was just an iteration of the same system they'd already tested with the DVD by mail business.
Yeah. And system-wise, I would also argue, though, that the timing had to be correct, right? The infrastructure of the system had to be there. We had to have internet that was capable of this.
Yes.
So this couldn't have been done 10 years earlier, no matter how much you willed the process to exist.
Absolutely. And he covers that in many chapters as well. You know, just it's yes, the word is timing, but it's timing of, is this the right system at the right moment? Yep. There was another neat idea, the birth of, I'll say this name wrong, AFYA. They took chapter 106, they took unused or expired medical supplies to countries that needed them. Well, what they found was every system that was affected by their new idea, wanted them to succeed by the system itself, right? Not just emotional desire. Like the hospitals, they had this surplus of stuff they could not use as it was expired. What do I do with it? I hate to throw it away. Oh, they want it. Great. Come take it from me. I don't even have to deal with it now. And then you have these third world countries and places and feast and famine and plague. And they're like, oh, we need the supplies. We'll take them. And then you have these doctors who, wanted to help, but didn't have the money or other supplies to do it. And every system supported what they were doing versus trying to make somebody do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Good example. Well, Shannon, tell me, or tell the universe what your least favorite or least engaging chapter was. What would you not come back for?
Yeah, I would say.
No, wait, hold on. Sorry to interrupt. I'm definitely interrupting. Last week you copped out on this and said there were no bad chapters, which I disagree with. So,
right.
So which one?
I'll give you two this time.
Okay, good. Thank you. Good. Yes.
He's making up.
Make up for it.
Yeah, I do have a tie between 115 and 116, and I think.
So, what's the synopsis of those two chapters, 115 and 116?
Yeah, what I'm getting from him, I mean, I'm feeling like they're too deep of concepts for such brief chapters. Like there's only a couple sentences each, and what I'm wanting, I was wanting better examples because I missed the actionable points. Like what's the practical use for me? Why am I reading this chapter? What am I going to do with it on both 115 and 116? So yeah, I found myself wanting more examples, going deeper, and see why he felt it necessary to bring up these topics.
So what for those watching this later, give a quick synopsis of what 115 was.
Ooh, good question.
115 was titled News, Ideas, and Distribution Change. And the concept there was that you look at books and newspapers and how that distribution model has just changed over time. Neat to look at, wasn't super exciting. And when I said the riches are in the niches, this was from chapter 116, which is that everyone is elusive. What you really need to be looking for in your strategy is who already needs what you have, not creating demand.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
What's your least favorite, Chris?
Ooh. Well, I know you had an unfair advantage on this, or you were crippled on this. My least favorite was 81. 81 is the time chapter. No time to waste. And I'm going to just go ahead and directly quote it. Of course there isn't. Time is all we've got. Time is all there is. Time is not only the calendar or the clock. Time is not only the calendar or the clock. Time is the scarce resource that fuels every project and bounds every strategy. We can't waste time because it's not ours to waste. It is simply the way we keep track of everything else. Okay, end chapter. That was the chapter. This one I felt like first of all of us struggle with this. So what's the point of this paragraph? or 3 sentences or whatever it was. And at that point, I almost this was the first chapter I read. So our assignment, read chapters 81 through 120. This is the first chapter I read. I said, oh, seriously? And I almost put the book down and went, you know what? Done. Not reading, not attending Leadership Lounge this week. I have no time.
Yeah,
So
you're
anyway,
wondering where the practical. Yeah, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, it's just stating the obvious. Fairly doomsday, fairly. I don't even know. It just.
What's fun about having the three of us when Jay joins us in the room is these different perspectives, because some things are obvious to us. And given our target audience, right, we're talking about leadership and business type books. Certain types of things are obvious to most of us in this audience, and that's to be expected, and that's okay. I'm curious what you guys think of my worst chapter, my least favorite.
Lay it on us.
Choose your competition and choose your future, which is a whole series of choose your and your future. But basically, it's the concept that Lance Armstrong cheated, but it was because scarcity creates short-term thinking, which creates a race to the bottom. And sure, great point. I don't even know that he connected the cheating scandal well enough to the concept. I'm a smart guy. I can figure it out, but like just connect a few more dots for me, right? Like, you're a freaking best-selling author times a gazillion books that are, by the way, most of them are pretty damn good. And like, help me here. That was my worst. And I did want to, we have time. Yep, we have time. I wanted to bring up one more chapter to get your guys' thoughts on, if that's okay. Chapter 85, which I just wrote the word amazing next to, and it's called Sooner or Later. My notes on the topic is that strategy always has a delay, so we have to trust that this will work. That was the first part that I want to talk about, and like this is something I fight all the time. Even creating this leadership lounge, right? We're like at week, 12 or 14 at this point, where our questions are: is it good? Is it working? Is anybody watching? And
I think definitively the answer is no, but we're here anyway.
Trust the system. But when we talk about it, this is part of a longer strategy we have, right? We have written that this is part of our video content, which is part of establishing I'll call it base level noise we have to have in social media to do the next thing, We have all that mapped out, and we are trusting the process and our strategy and collecting data along the way. And then there's an interesting part B to this, which was that the disadvantaged may not have the resources to invest in their future. And I thought that was very eye-opening. Like the fact that many of us in this room went without a paycheck for quite some time to get this business started, right? Not everybody can afford to do that and eat food. And what are they to do in those cases? And there's some solutions to that too, but like it's more complicated, it's more difficult. And I thought that was really good to read. And, in summary, the chapter is delayed gratification, which I think it was Dave Ramsey who actually said that's the definition of adulthood. Delayed gratification.
Yep. All right. Any other earth-shaking comments before we wrap it up for the week?
Oh, I got to do that, don't I?
Well, we'll be here to assist you.
Oh, yay! All right, we're good?
Shannon?
I was just going to say briefly here, chapter 109, very simple concept, of course, the urgency of no. But I did find it useful because we can't do it all. We have to avoid some opportunities, leave some potential clients behind based on a niche to become rich.
Yeah, that was second on my list for least favorite, only because I didn't like it. Like, I don't want to do this one. This one, I don't like that somebody's telling me not to say yes all the time. I'd happy to say yes more often and martyr myself in the process.
No,
don't tell me to say no.
Yeah, because if you say no, then there's no drama that comes with that afterwards, and there's nothing to talk about.
I mean, the FOMO to the end. I don't want to miss out on an opportunity to say yes to something.
Hey, Chris, why don't you book your free consultation with me?
Yes.
There you go. Very good. Well,
all right, Alan.
All right. So before we wrap up, the important thing is, okay, how do we apply this discussion today? So I'm curious in each of you, If someone's watching this, maybe as they head into work and then they show up, just in this today's conversation, what is the one thing they should do differently? And I'll lead with, to me, I would think I would want them to reframe asking, should I do this? And think about it instead as, does the system what I want? And if not, act accordingly. What about you, Shannon?
I would say there's some similarities, and my thought would be to check your blueprint, what you started out with, to see if it's in alignment again with your overall mission, vision, your purpose, your values, and see if that's in alignment with what the system wants and right now as well.
Very good. Chris?
I would say if your plan and your strategy involves big changes, don't be afraid to step out on a ledge for it. I'm thinking of the Netflix one still. That one really, I honestly had nightmares about that one. So I'm still thinking of that one.
All right. I like it. Those are all very insightful, and thank you for that. So for those that didn't notice, Chris has hosted the last several. I hosted this time. But normally I produce, clicking on the buttons, and Chris produced. Our goal is just to keep getting better. I believe in process-based culture. So I had written a process for producing. Chris had written a process for hosting. And now we're swapping to say, okay, can I follow this? As you can see, we have some practice to do, and that's fine. It's all part of growing. And thank you guys for tolerating us. We love being here. We love sharing this information with you. Now, next week, we're going to cover chapters 121 through 160. Do I have the math right?
Yes. This week we're right on track.
All right. Let's come prepared with your favorite chapter and your least favorite chapter, but most importantly, why they get those categories from you. Thank you, Chris and Shannon. Thank you to our sponsors, MSP Hire and Sedaris Agency. Same time, same place, Thursday at noon Pacific. Bring the book, bring your thoughts. See you then.
Thanks, Alan.
See you later.